and we are ready to go. Officials tonight, Tony Padilla, Randy Richardson, and Sean Lehi. Horvath tipping it off against Mormon, and it is controlled by Utah State. Good job by R.J. Idlerock, clipping that thing away from Octave, hands over to Ashworth. Ashworth on the left wing, rotates right to Horvath, then to Bairstow. Bairstow back up top to Bean. Bean rotates left to Idlerock, then up top to Horvath. Now to Ashworth, back to Bean, everything outside the three-point line. Ball tipped away on a cross-court pass by Heidbreeder. Goes out of bounds with 12 seconds on the clock. Utah State will hold on to possession. Justin Bean still rocking that eye patch above his right eye after taking a nasty hit in the San Diego State game. All the way to midcourt to Bairstow, 10 seconds on the shot clock. Ashworth rotates right, gives it to Bairstow, back to Ashworth. Ashworth driving baseline, kick it to Horvath, who throws down the two-handed dunk. Could have gotten a foul too, but 2 points on a dunk from Brandon Horvath, and the Aggies out to an early 2-0 lead. Patient offense leads to good looks. Ethan Taylor crosses the timeline, working left to right. Hands over to Walker. Walker back to Taylor. Taylor on the left wing. Guarded closely by Ashworth. Pass down low, goes off the hands of an Aggie defender. It'll stay with Air Force. And actually the foul is going to go against Idlerock, not out of bounds. Personal foul against Idlerock, first team foul for either team. Ethan Taylor looking to inbound, gets it up top to Heidbreeder. Heidbreeder then hands up top to Walker. Walker with Ashworth on him, who's been great defensively. Dishes to Taylor. Taylor on the right wing. Rotated to Mormon. Back to Taylor. Up top to Octave. Pump fakes the three. Beans out to guard him. Pass down low on the cutback. Goes to Taylor, who lays it up and in. Great ball movement, and that's what Air Force does. They get you late in the shot clock and then can get those backdoor cuts. Down low to Horvath. Has good positioning. Passes out of it to Bairstow to Idlerock. Rises for three. No good off the back of the iron. Rebound brought down by Octave. Quickly to Taylor. Taylor then kicks it left. Long three by Walker is missed. Horvath with the rebound. A.J. Walker, 2 of 7 from three, and a bad pass stolen away by Walker, who's going to lay it up and in. Utah State with a bad pass. Walker with an easy pick six going the other way, and Air Force with their first lead in this game, 4-2. Bairstow to Idlerock. Idlerock over to Ashworth. Good look for three. Sky ball up and in. The arc on that thing nearly hit the Raptors. But Sean Bairstow buries the three, and the Aggies lead by 1, 5-4. Ethan Taylor to Octave. Octave comes to the right side of the court. Ball nearly tipped away from Walker as Ashworth is right in his back pocket, forcing him to give it up. To the left side to Octave, outside the three-point line. Bean puts a hand in his face, hands to Mormon. Mormon outside the three-point line, then to Heidbreeder. Heidbreeder back to Octave. Great ball movement by Air Force. Finally, Octave for three, knocks it down from the left wing. Patient offense by Air Force leads to a pretty good shot. And Air Force up 7-5, 2-point lead for the Falcons here early in this one. Idlerock to Ashworth, looking for Horvath in the post. They get it to him on the left baseline, but he's double-teamed. Dribbles out of it. Looking cross-court to Bairstow, then to Ashworth. Driving baseline, has an easy layup and blew the layup. And Bairstow upset with himself. Thought somebody was going to come back and defend him, and they conceded the layup, and he just blew it at the rim. Doesn't happen very often. A.J. Walker with Air Force leading by 2. Nice pass down low to Octave, who misses the layup. Bean to Bairstow. Bairstow, Euro step into lane, tipped away, and he is fouled. 7-5, Air Force with an early 2-point lead. Just 3 minutes into the game in a much quicker pace game than we would have expected against the Falcons. This is the pace that Utah State's going to want to play at, even though Air Force out to an early lead in this game. Hand over to Bairstow. Bairstow had only made 2 threes going into the game, and he hands over to Horvath for 3, and he can't get it to go. But Bairstow made 2 threes in the game against Nevada. Had only made 2 prior in the entire season. Was 2 of 28 from 3. Went 2 of 3 in that game against Nevada. Air Force with the ball and a 2-point lead. Ethan Taylor, long straightaway 3, missed, and the rebound pulled down by Utah State. Horvath going the other way. Horvath trying to cross over, has a bit of a mismatch. He drives, lays it up and in. He saw Heidbreeder, and Horvath, having about a 4-inch advantage, decided, I'm going to take it to the lane. I'm going to lay it up and in. Aggies tie the game up at 7 apiece. 16:30 left, first half action. Utah State and Air Force square at 7. Octave on the baseline, trying to spin. Walker then kicks it back up. Mormon wide open for 3, right wing, missed it. You'll let him shoot that all day. Stephen Ashworth quickly going the other way, right to left. Hands over to Idlerock. Idlerock muscling his way into the lane. Lost the handle, recollects. Ball still on the court, goes out of bounds, and they're going to say, ooh, Air Force ball. Octave and Idlerock both fighting for it. Touch the baseline. They're going to say it's off of Idlerock, and into the game will come Max Scholga for Idlerock, who will take a quick breather. 16:04 left in the first half. We'll have a timeout on the next dead ball. Ethan Taylor kicks it to Walker, then gives it right back to Taylor. Taylor crossing the timeline quickly. Dishes to Octave and then rotates to the right side of the court, back to Walker. Walker gets to the elbow, hands to Mormon though, and Mormon resets to Taylor. Taylor gets to the elbow. He can't do anything with it. Then to Highbreeder. Great ball movement so far by the Academy. We're all tied up at 7 apiece. Mormon back to Octave. Octave on the right wing. Bean tries to guard him as he comes, rises, takes the long two and misses it. And that was all Justin Bean putting a hand in his face. That brings us to our first media timeout. Utah State and Air Force. Octave's going to hear about that the rest of the night as he airballs the long two. It's Utah State and the Falcons of Air Force. This is Aggie basketball from Learfield. Fortunately, Geico makes it easy to bundle your home and car insurance. It's a good thing, too, because having a home is hard work. Go to geico.com, get a quote, and see how much you can save. Geico.com, easy. 15:38 left in the half. Utah State and Air Force all square at 7 apiece. Throwback night tonight. Spectrum Magic, kind of a 70s theme. Even the logos on the scoreboard rocking the old 70s logos for both teams. Utah State shooting 3 of 6 from the field, including 1 of 3 from three-point line, already matching the amount of threes they made in Colorado Springs. Utah State went 1 of 19 from 3. Only need one more 3 to surpass that, and fortunately that happens. If not, could be another long day. Scholga into the game for RJ Idlerock. Aggies on the court, your starters, minus RJ with Scholga out on the court. Scholga has earned these extended minutes. Had a nice conversation with him in the pregame show. Ashworth and the Aggies all whites, blue trim. Justin Bean outside the three-point line. Down low to Horvath. Horvath on the left low block. Here comes a double team, so he dishes it to Bean, who he calmly lays it up and in. And the Aggies have the lead back, 9-7. Beautiful setup. Good job by Horvath seeing the double team come and dishing out of it. Nick Jackson, number 22, into the game for Air Force. Hands over to Taylor. Taylor back up top to number 30, Vanderswag, into the game as well for the Falcons. A.J. Walker tries to go base, cut off, still driving baseline, gets into the key, circling, takes the shot, misses it, and the rebound pulled down by Justin Bean. That's Bean's second rebound of the night tonight. Bean to Horvath. Horvath hands to Scholga. Scholga back down to Horvath. Let's see if they bring the double team. So far not. So Horvath spins in a lane, still no double team. Kicks it down low to Bairstow. Bairstow pump fakes, puts a shot up easy. Aggies are just slicing and dicing the Air Force Academy. Essentially, Utah State doing to Air Force what Air Force likes to do to other teams. Great ball movement, great passing, great looks. 11-7, Aggies up by 4. Long three from the left wing is up and missed by Highbreeder. Quickly, Ashworth trying to throw the alley-oop to Bairstow with a two-handed dunk. Wow! Steven Ashworth to Bairstow. Rips it down. Aggies up by 6, 13-7. My goodness. Highbreeder to Octave. Nearly lost the handle. Kicks it up top to Jackson. Jackson then rotates right to Taylor. Taylor over to Walker. Walker gets to the elbow. Picks up his dribble. Has to get rid of it. Hands over. Long three by Vanderswag is off the iron, missed. And here comes Horvath. Another rebound. Sean Bairstow to Ashworth. Ashworth looking for Bean, but instead gives it to Horvath, takes the long two and knocks it down. 2 feet inside the line, 2 feet behind the free throw line. No big deal. Horvath and the Aggies out and running on a 10-0 run, leading this game 15-7. Ethan Taylor to Highbreeder. Highbreeder back to Taylor. Taylor on the right wing. Kicks it over to Vanderswag on the baseline, working against Bean. Drives into the paint, then dishes out. Air Force will reset. Taylor, he'll get to the free throw line. Tried to rise, but caught up in the air, so he hands to Walker. Walker puts the right-hand floater up, and good. Great job by A.J. Walker getting into the lane and snapping Utah State's 10-0 run. 15-9, Aggies lead by 6. Ashworth to Scholga. Scholga cross-court to Horvath. Horvath then to Bairstow. Bairstow on the right wing, being guarded closely, then down low to Bean. Bean looking for Horvath, knocked out of bounds nicely by Highbreeder. It'll force the Aggies to reset the offense with 16 seconds on the shot clock. Horvath is going to check out. Trevin Dorius checks in, and how about this? Rylan Jones gets a great applause from the crowd. He has been out dealing with concussion-like symptoms for the last several games, and he is back in the lineup. Not sure how much he'll play tonight, but good to see him back out on the court. Rylan Jones to Shulga. Shulga, right baseline, then comes to the right wing. Bean, cross court to Bairstow, back to Bean. Bean looking for Rylan. Rylan gets to the elbow, then picks up his dribble to Bairstow. 2-1, rising for three, no good. Dorius nearly came down with the rebound. Instead, Carter Murphy's able to pull it down. Carter Murphy controlling the dribble. Aggies up 15-9. Went on a 10-0 run. Air Force since then has had a bucket. Murphy on the right wing, down low to Taylor. Taylor on the right low block, trying to go to work against Shulga. Kisses off the glass on the turnaround jumper, gets it to go. 15-11, 4-point game. Largest lead for Utah State has been 8. Rylan Jones crosses the timeline, hands to Bairstow, then gives to Shulga as he weaves to the left side of the court. Then back to Rylan. Rylan caught up in traffic, bounce pass to Bairstow, looking for Bean, but didn't get it to him. Would have been a good pass and probably a good look for three. Shulga gets into lane. Shulga attacks, and they're going to say a little bit of a carry. Palm the ball, and that's a turnover on Utah State. 15-11, Aggies lead by 4 over the Academy of Air Force. You're listening to Aggie Basketball from Learfield. Utah State and the Air Force Academy. Aggies up 15-11. Largest lead has been 8 for Utah State. Falcons currently on a 4-0 run. Aggies shooting 64% from the field, 7 of 11. Air Force just 38% on 5 of 13. Difference so far in allowing Air Force to stay in this game has been turnovers. Utah State have turned it over 3 times. Air Force has yet to commit a turnover. Aggies getting 4 from Bairstow, 6 from Brandon Horvath. Ashworth with a 3 and Bean with 2. And this kind of goes to play of what Utah State has got working for them. They'll have a lot of advantages in the post. There should be some opportunities there. Utah State Athletics and America First Credit Union featuring the academic success of USU student athletes on various social media channels. The America First Credit Union Student Athlete Academic Spotlight is Stephen Ashworth from the men's basketball team. All right, Ethan Taylor crossing the timeline, met by Shulga. Down low to Walker. Walker in the baseline against Rylan Jones. Dorius comes to help, but he's able to spin, put the shot up and missed it. Had a good look, just wouldn't fall for him. Trying to attack Rylan Jones. Quick pass to Bairstow. Spots up for 3. No good. Dorius tips it around, and they're going to call a foul on Dorius on the rebound. And the ball will go back to Air Force. So Air Force hanging in there, even though they've only made 2 out of their last 10 field goals. Still only trailed by 4. Utah State leading 15-11. Aggies a little bit of a press here. Inbound to Heidbreeder. Heidbreeder up against Bairstow. Gets past him easily. Then to Walker. Walker gets to the middle of the court. Goes to the elbow to Jackson, and another foul away from the ball is going to go against Utah State. Shulga is going to draw that one. And that'll be the, I believe, 14th foul on Utah State. Only 1 so far on the Academy. 22 seconds on the shot clock. 11:29 left in the half. Aggies up 15-11. Wide open 3 from the baseline is missed. Aggies left Carter Murphy wide open, and he clanked the 3. Shulga up top to Jones. Jones looks back over to Ryan Odom and resets the offense. Dorius comes out to set a screen, but Jones goes away from it. Hands to Shulga. Shulga works the right side, looking for Dorius down low. Bairstow can't get it to him, kicks it back to Rylan. Rylan steps back, pump fakes the 3, then dishes to Shulga. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Aggies need to get something going. Here comes Dorius to set a screen, and a foul is going to be called against Air Force on a Shulga drive. And that'll be the second team foul. Put 20 seconds back on the shot clock, and the Aggies will inbound. Aggies bailed out a little bit on that possession, on that foul. Rylan Jones looking to inbound. Again, Rylan's first game in some time after dealing with a concussion. Gets it up top to Bean. Bean at the left elbow. Bean dribbles back, then dribbles back into the lane, puts his shoulder down, spins, takes the baseline jumper, and knocks it down. Justin Bean's got 4 points on the night, 2 of 2 shooting. Aggies now lead by 6, 17-11. Great move by Justin Bean. Idle Rock set to come in on the next drive. Kick it right. Nick Jackson. Jackson still gets the elbow, then dishes to Heidbreeder. Heidbreeder then rotates right. Hands to Murphy. Murphy buck up top to Walker. Walker back to Jackson. Again, hot potato by Air Force. Good look down low. Reverse layup up and in by A.J. Walker. Got the mismatch they wanted, and Air Force calm, collect on offense, getting good looks. A.J. Walker now with 6 points on the night tonight. Alley-oop to Bairstow once again. Holy smokes. Rylan Jones from outside the three-point line saw Bairstow flash to the rim, laid it up for him, and he throws down the dunk. Working the other way is Air Force. Aggies up by 6, 19-13. Dorius tips the ball out of bounds. It'll be Air Force ball. Into the game, Zihamoda, Brandon Horvath, RJ Eilerock, Rylan Jones, Shulga, and Bairstow check out. Dorius thought he was checking out as well, but coach says, no, you're back in the game. A little bit of a hockey line change for the Aggies. Dorius and Horvath out on the court. The Aggies have had some success, especially against this lineup. Could have some success down low with those two in the post. Ethan Taylor over to Jeffrey Mills into the game. He's another player who did not play in the game in Colorado Springs because of COVID. Left wing three, up and missed. Air Force really struggling with the outside shot. They are now 1 of 8 from beyond the three-point line. Aggies not much better at 1 of 5. Long three by Ashworth, missed. Rebound, Dorius couldn't keep it in play. Quickly going the other way is Taylor, cross court. Then hands to Walker. Walker drives into the lane, and he is fouled driving to the lane. And that'll be the 5th team foul on Utah State. Ashworth picks up his first. Check that, 14th foul on Utah State. 4 seconds came off the shot clock, so 26, 9:24 left in the half. Aggies up by 6, 19-13. Jeffrey Mills hands to Taylor. Taylor takes the elbow jumper, knocks it down, and gets the end one. Wow. So Taylor gets the bucket and the one on a long jumper from about the elbow. So Taylor gets the bucket and will have a chance for the old-fashioned three-point play. Try to cut this to a one-possession game for the Falcons. Mormon checks back into the game as Nick Jackson steps out. 19-15. As Taylor steps to the line, a 70% free throw shooter calmly knocks that one down. 3-point lead for the Aggies with 9:17 and counting left in the half. Ashworth to Horvath outside the three-point line straight away. Looking for a curling Ashworth. Can't get it to him. Instead, get it to Dorius. Dorius is fouled over the top. Mormon coming up, getting a hand over the top of Dorius, draws the foul. And again, that's the 14th foul on the Falcons. 9:07 left in the half. Utah State up by 3, 19-16. Ashworth with 20 on the shot clock will inbound on the baseline. Ashworth bounced past to Horvath. Good positioning, but he lost the handle on the way up, turned it over. And Utah State nearly forced one back, but Air Force still able to collect. Active hands by Air Force, forcing turnovers, especially in the post. Cross-court pass, driving on the baseline. And cut off nicely. And an injured Falcon player is Ethan Taylor. On that cross-court pass, landed badly. Not exactly sure what happened, but they called a timeout, an injury timeout, to get Taylor some help. Swung a cross-court pass all the way over to Mills, and it looks like it might be an ankle. Still down on the court in a great deal of pain. 8:52 left in the half. Aggies lead by 3, 19-16. Three-point shooting continuing to be an issue for both teams. Remember, Aggies went 1 of 19 from 3 in that game in Colorado Springs. They're 1 of 6 today. Air Force, though, fortunately 1 of 8 if you're an Aggie fan. Taylor unable to put any weight on that leg at all. Is getting helped off by a coach, as well as A.J. Walker coming in to help his teammate. Joe Scott comes over to give him a nice pat on the back and say, hang in there. That's a big blow if Taylor can't get back into the game for Air Force. Tremendous player on the season, averaging nearly 10 points, 5 rebounds, and 4 assists a game. Had some struggles in that game, about the only player who had some struggles against Utah State. He was 0 of 5 from the field in that game in Colorado Springs, in which Air Force won. All right, so the Falcons looking to inbound. Up top to Mills. Mills comes to the middle of the court, then gives it right back to Heidbreeder. Heidbreeder up top to Mormon, then rotates left to Octave. Octave with Ashworth on him, back to Heidbreeder. Heidbreeder gets past his defender, then rotates right, and dishes back to Octave. Octave swings it left. Long three is up and missed. And another rebound pulled down by Utah State as A.J. Walker unable to come down with it. Trailing Justin Bean gets the pass from Bean gets it to Eilerock. Eilerock back to Bean. Bean on the left wing. 18 seconds on the shot clock. Drives base. Takes the jumper. Contested jumper over the top of Octave and still knocks it down. Justin Bean starting to feel it tonight. 6 points, 3 rebounds in 11 minutes out on the court. Highbreeder to Mills. Mills rotates right. Back to Highbreeder. As Air Force does a great job just working it around the horn. Then a drive by Octave, lays it up and in over the top of Bean on the baseline drive. Bean thought he had himself a block shot, but Octave able to nestle it home on the floater from the base. Pass down low to Horvath. He's double teamed. Aggies kick it to Bean. Bean takes the straightaway three. Yes, sir! Justin Bean. Aggies with their second three of the night. Aggies up by 6, 24-18, as Bean locked it in and dropped it in. Aggie student section on their feet here in Logan. And an offensive foul, I believe, goes against number 10, A.J. Walker. 7:28 left in the half. Utah State leads by 6, and they'll have the ball when we come back. You're listening to Aggie Basketball from Learfield. Largest lead for the Aggies has been 8 points in this game, and Aggies have been really good offensively, 65% from the field. Air Force has really struggled. Aggies, though, 4 turnovers. Air Force with only 1 turnover. Aggies out rebounding Air Force 12-6, and both teams with 12 points in the paint. D.L. Evans Bank is big thanks to D.L. Evans Bank for supporting Aggie athletics. D.L. Evans Bank, a community bank with local employees helping their communities succeed. Utah State led by Justin Bean, who's got 9 points and 3 rebounds in 11 minutes of play, including a perfect 4 for 4 from the field, and has made his 1 3-point attempt. Stephen Ashworth 1 for 3 with a 3. He's got 3. Horvath with 6. Bairstow with 6, 3 of 5 from the field as well. In case you're just joining us, Rylan Jones did get some run here, did not start, but Rylan was out on the court, played 3 good minutes for the team, had 1 assist and 1 rebound. So the Aggies with the ball, chance to extend this lead, currently lead by 6, 24-18. Ashworth, uncontested, brings the ball down the court to Bean, then to Bairstow, back to Ashworth. Looking down low, the ball deflected on a pass by Air Force, and it's controlled by Air Force. That's the 5th turnover in the half by Utah State. Pass just deflected away and stolen away. Down low to Octave. He's got positioning against Bean. Does he challenge him? Yes, and misses it. Oh, that's not going to work out for you, Mr. Octave. Bean was there to contest the shot. Horvath, crossover dribble, kicks it left to Bairstow. Bairstow gets to the free throw line, then hands to Idlerock, down to Horvath. Horvath on the left low block. Guarded by Walker. See if he makes him pay. Does. Up, under, lays it up and in with the left hand. Oh, he saw that mismatch. Aggies doing a good job hunting mismatches out on the court and have their largest lead, tie their largest lead of 8, 26-18. Down low to Walker. Walker on the right low block. Up against Ashworth. Horvath comes to help. Dishes up top to Octave. Then to Walker, and another offensive foul. This is going to go against Mormon. 6:30 left. Aggies have a chance to push this to a double-digit lead. Air Force is so methodical but so precise in how they run their offense, trying to move the ball around and set screens, and sometimes they get hit with those illegal screens, and Mormon did there. But still tremendous offensive sets by Air Force here in the early stage of this game. Aggies just playing really well offensively, 26-18, just a complete opposite of what we saw against the Falcons in Colorado Springs. Another near deflection. Air Force being great with the deflections here early in this game. Bean looking for Horvath down low. Couldn't get it to him, so he gives it up top to Idlerock. Idlerock back to Bean. Bean down low to Horvath. Has positioning again and is fouled on the way up. Utah State has found something, and they are just going to the well, working it over and over. Nick Jackson draws that foul. That's the 7th team foul on Air Force. Or is that number 6? Yep, number 6, excuse me. But Horvath will go to the line for 2 free throws. Horvath's first free throw. It is up and it is good. Brandon Horvath knocks it down. 1 more coming up. Great environment here in Logan. Student section is packed. Rest of the arena is filled in nicely for Spectrum Magic Night tonight. Horvath trying to give the Aggies a double-digit lead. Second free throw is up and rims out. Looked good, just wouldn't fall for him. Lead is 9, still the largest lead in this game for Utah State as Jackson corrals the rebound. Hands over to Murphy. Murphy then right to Jeffrey Mills as Air Force calmly working it around the horn. Back to Walker. Walker then right to Mills. Mills looks for Walker on the post, gets it to him. Horvath's on his back pocket. Spins around Horvath, good positioning, puts the shot up over the top of him, but misses it badly. That's just the height of Horvath, even though Walker had good positioning. Spins around Horvath, good positioning, puts the shot up over the top of him, but misses it badly. That's just the height of Horvath, even though Walker had good positioning, but misses it badly. That's just the height of Horvath, even though Walker had good positioning, but misses it badly. That's just the height of Horvath, even though Walker had good positioning, What a pass down low. My goodness. Oh, my. Justin Bean threading the needle to Idle Rock, who lays it up and in. Aggies up by 11, 29-18. Utah State with 10 assists on the night tonight on 13 made field goals. None prettier than that one. Layup attempt up and in. Nick Jackson waiting calmly for everybody to clear and then threw down the two-handed dunk. Ashworth on the left wing. Ashworth down to Horvath. Jackson comes out, swings it cross court to Bairstow, wide open from the baseline. Yes, sir! Sean Bairstow buries the baseline three. Beautiful pass by Horvath. Aggies up by 12, 32-20. Mills to Murphy, right side to Highbreeder. Back up top to Jackson, then rotating around the horn, back to Highbreeder. One of the three, drives past Idle Rock, and they're going to get Idle Rock with the foul on the grab. That'll be the 16th foul on Utah State, not in the penalty yet with 4:52 left in the half. Rylan Jones set to go for round number 2, his second run out on the court. He'll replace Idle Rock, who just picked up his second foul. Only Aggie with 2 fouls. Air Force has Jackson with 2 and Mormon with 2. Highbreeder inbounds it to Mills, then gets it up top to Jackson, who then dishes to Vanderswag, who's back into the game. Air Force stalling a little bit offensively, not quite as crisp of movement as we've seen throughout, but Jackson with the ball trying to get around Jones. Bit of a mismatch there. Puts the shot up, and they're going to hit him with the travel. Yep. Got into the post, got excited. Had a height advantage against Rylan Jones. Loved what he saw, but took one too many spins there in the post. And even though he got the bucket, gets hit with the travel. Aggies up by 12, looking for more. 32-20, 4:30 left in the first half. Ashworth to Horvath. Horvath looking for Bean. Instead kicks it left to Ashworth. Then to Jones. Jones for 3. Right wing. Get in there. Nope. Wouldn't go for him. Rebound ripped down by Vanderswag. Love to see Rylan Jones get on the scoring list here in the early stages of this game. Coming off that injury. A.J. Walker. Nice bounce pass to Highbreeder. Leads him beautifully. And he gets the layup. 32-22. Aggies lead by 10. 4:07 left in the half. Utah State trying to hold on to this double-digit lead going into halftime, not allowing Air Force to get momentum. Rylan Jones driving base, then gets to the middle, hands to Bean. Bean long shot up and missed. His first missed shot of the night tonight. He's now 4 of 5 from the field. Nice entry pass down low, but Mills kicks it back up top, now to Walker. Walker back to Mills, then over to Jackson. Jackson on the left wing, kicks it back to Walker. Walker drives, a lot of contact out on the court, and they're going to call Ashworth for running over the top of Jackson. Jackson set a screen. Ashworth ran over the top of him, and that'll bring us to our final media timeout. Air Force shooting a 1-and-1 when we come back. 32-22, Aggies up by 10. You're listening to Aggie Basketball from Learfield. Utah State leading Air Force by 10. Air Force will have a 1-and-1, I believe, when we come back as Ashworth picks up the foul. That's his second foul in the half. Palmer's Metal Mart has been helping DIYers and seasoned pros with their metal projects since '93, with retail centers in Lehigh and Logan and beyond Utah. Metal Mart supplying all types of steel and aluminum products to every type of customer. More information available at metalmart.biz. Palmer's Metal Mart, proud supporter of Aggie basketball. All right, Aggies moving the ball beautifully. They've got 11 assists on 14 made field goals. Aggies, one of the best teams in the country, top 10 in the nation in assist to field goal made ratio. That is how they run their offense, and when it's clicking, that assist number is always high, but my goodness, it has been great tonight. 2 alley-oops, great entry passes. Air Force is usually the team that's going to kill you with the assists, and they're doing a good job as well. 6 assists on 10 made field goals, but Utah State getting making 63% of their shots, whereas Air Force is just 41%. Utah State now 3 of 10 from 3. Air Force still 1 of 9. Air Force not a particularly great three-point shooting team coming into this game. They're about 33, 34%. Certainly better than what they're shooting tonight, and you got to think eventually a few of those are going to start going in. 1-and-1 for Nick Jackson, 70% free throw shooter. Aggies fans trying to get in his head a little bit, but he able to knock it down, and he'll have one more. Aggies' largest lead has been 12, now it is 9, and Jackson will try to cut it to 8. Jackson got 3 points on the night tonight, and it is now, stays at 3, missed it. Rebound pulled down by Rylan Jones. Jones running the point. Good to have him back out on the court for Utah State coming off that injury. Up top to Horvath. Horvath, had Bean wide open instead. Gives it to Bairstow. Bairstow in trouble. Dishes it over to Shulga, and Shulga lost the handle on the bad pass. Goes out of bounds. Bean was wide open down low, and Utah State didn't see him. 32-23, 9-point lead for Utah State. Feels like this game could go one of two ways here, certainly, if Air Force is able to, and that's an offensive foul. Walker with a nasty hit on Ryland Jones, setting the screen. Jones goes down, and Walker picks up the foul. So the Aggies force a turnover there, and it wouldn't be a game unless Ryland Jones takes a nasty hit. But again, if Utah State can keep this at a 10-point double-digit lead, it's a lot of momentum going second half. If Air Force can cut this to 2 or 4, then we got ourselves a ball game in the second half. Shulga to Bairstow. Bairstow then back as he rotates it right to Jones. Jones to the right side of the court. To Bean. Bean back to Ryland, then working it to Shulga. Gets around his man, dishes it to Horvath. Pump fake, lays it up and in. Brilliant play by Max Shulga, drawing the defense, then the dish, and Horvath, the patient layup. Aggies back up by 11, 34-23. Needed that bucket. Cross-court pass to Mills. Heidbreeder, cross-court on the other side to Jackson. Jackson rotates up top to Vanderswag. As Air Force working it around the horn, looking for something to create. A.J. Walker still pounding the dribble, now to Jackson. Jackson posting up in the paint against Shulga. Gets positioning, but misses the layup. Had a good look, just wouldn't fall for him. Justin Bean pulls it down and brings the ball down the court. 2:25 left in the half. Aggies up by 11, 34-23. Horvath to Ryland Jones. Aggies have been crisp offensively tonight. Here comes Horvath. Horvath gets in the lane, leaves it for Bean, who throws down the one-handed dunk, and Horvath got hit with the travel. My goodness, would have been a nasty dunk by Justin Bean, but Horvath, as the officials say, took too many steps. Turnover, Utah State. 8 turnover in the half by the Aggies. Had an opportunity there to push it to their largest lead of 13. Heidbreeder hands to Walker. Walker works right. Kicks it to Mills. Mills up top to Jackson. Jackson then to Vanderswag. Vanderswag gets around a screen, gets to the free throw line, then dishes it back to Walker, who then steps in, takes the jumper, and airballs it. Bean keeps it alive. Long pass to Horvath, but stolen away. Bad pass down low. Ryland Jones says, yeah, that's my bad. Another turnover by Utah State. About the only thing Utah State's really had some struggles with in this first half has been turnovers. 9 in the half. 8. Not quite 9 there yet. 1:30 left in the half. Mills to Heidbreeder, back to Mills. Mills trying to work against Horvath. Spins in the lane, spins right, spins left, then decides to give up the possession. Hands back to Jackson, then Jackson over to number 30, another air ball. Missed it badly. Vanderswag couldn't get it to go. And again, the air ball chance raining down here in Logan. 1:09 left in the half. Aggies up by 11, 34-23. Ryland Jones up top to Bean. Bean cross court to Shulga. Shulga rises for 3. Oh, and he hits it, but an offensive foul goes against Bean. That counts as another turnover. That's Bean's first foul, and Air Force will get the ball back. That's 2 buckets wiped out due to either a foul or a travel. Air Force wants a timeout. We'll take it. 30-second timeout. Utah State leading Air Force 34-23. This is Aggie basketball from Learfield. In the half, Utah State leading Air Force 34-23. Kind of feels like it should be more, but Air Force doing a good job of deflections, forcing turnovers, and then the Aggies some self-inflicted turnovers as well. 2 buckets have been wiped off by the officials. One on a travel, the other on an offensive foul. Both legit calls, not complaining about the calls. It's just missed opportunities for Utah State. Bryant Heating and Cooling, proud supporter of Aggie Athletics. 5 main types of Bryant Heating and Cooling systems to meet home comfort needs. More information available at Bryant.com. Mills will bring the ball down the court. Crosses the timeline. Heidbreeder now with it. Comes to the midcourt logo. Then back to Mills. Mills gets a screen from Jackson. Then he'll retreat to the midcourt logo. Air Force certainly not looking like they're interested in a 2-for-1 here. Mills now on the right baseline. 8 seconds on the shot clock. Back to Heidbreeder, back to Mills. Mills then down low. Octave gets the layup but misses. And the Aggies will hold for the last shot. Octave had a good look, but again, great job by Horvath and others coming up and forcing the missed shot. So the Aggies will take a Potential double-digit lead into halftime if they can hold for the last shot here. 12 seconds, 11 seconds, 10 seconds. Rylan Jones in the midcourt stripe. Kicks it to Bairstow. Bairstow pump fakes, driving. Two-handed dunk over the top of Jackson. 2-1. Octave launches from half court with the right hand and nearly banked it in. But what a play by Sean Bairstow on a two-handed stuffer on a baseline drive. And the Aggies have their largest lead of the game going into the break, 36-23. My goodness, this is Aggie basketball from Learfield. Half started with the Aggies leading by 13. Join the Aggie Network, an online hub for alumni, faculty, staff, and students seeking a greater connection to expand their professional network, explore career opportunities, and give back to fellow Aggies through mentoring. Visit aggienetwork.usu.edu to sign up today. All right, second half about to begin as Utah State looking to pick up their third consecutive victory. Two impressive wins against San Diego State and Nevada. And a win tonight against Air Force would get the Aggies at 4-5 in conference play. And right back in the thick of things. Starting lineup back out on the court: Brandon Horvath, Sean Bairstow, RJ Eilerock, Justin Bean, and Stephen Ashworth. Air Force in their blues with white trim, Utah State in their all whites and navy blue trim. Air Force getting the nod from the officials. Hey, all right, time to break that huddle. We got a second half to play here. Air Force on alternating possession will start the second half with the ball, as Mills will go out to inbound. Three players for Air Force who did not play in that first game due to COVID, all out on the court tonight. Octave being one of them with the ball, then rotates to Walker. Hands over to Heidbreeder, who drives, dishes left, up top to Mormon, then back to Walker. Walker over to Octave on the right wing, tries to get around Bairstow, does so, attacks the rim, and lays it up and in and gets the end one. Octave the drive, the layup, and the foul against Utah State. Bairstow picks up the foul. That's his first foul, first team foul, obviously, for Utah State. And Octave steps up to the line. A little north of a 60% free throw shooter is Octave. Let's see if he can knock this down. First free throw is missed. And Horvath rips it down. Outlets it to Ashworth. Aggies up by 11, 36-25. Largest lead in the game has been that halftime lead of 13. Horvath outside the right wing three-point line, then to Ashworth. Ashworth on the base, then comes to the wing, rises for three, buries it from three. Stephen Ashworth, right in the face of an Air Force defender, saying, you're gonna sag off me? I'm gonna knock this down. Aggies up by 14, 39-25. Ashworth, his second three make of the game. Mormon dishes, keeps it himself, then hands to Octave. Gets to the elbow, then dishes back to Mills, then works it left to Mormon on the base, who then rotates right. A.J. Walker gets to the left elbow, then drives against Bean. Good positioning down low, challenged at the rim, but still able to lay it up and in. Great look by A.J. Walker, who had 16 against Utah State in the first game, and now has 8 in the game tonight. Ashworth, who just hit a big three, tried to reverse layup, but fouled on the way up by Walker. Walker took some friendly fire on the way up as well. He got hit in the nose, but Walker gets hit with the foul. And that, I believe, is his third. Yeah, that's a problem for Air Force. And I don't know if Air Force can afford to keep him out of the game. It does not look like they're going to sub. Ashworth with 2 free throws, makes the first, hung on the rim and finally dropped in on him. 40-27, matching the halftime lead of 13. Ashworth with one more free throw coming up. And that is perfect. 41-27, 14-point lead as Ashworth comes to guard Walker on the inbound. So Mills comes back to collect on the pass from Heidbreeder, Heidbreeder now with the ball on the left wing. Weaves it to Octave. Octave to Mills, looking down low for Walker. Trying to get Ashworth in the post. They get what they want. He dishes out to Mormon. Mormon thought about a three, but then says, that's not my range. So he gives it to Octave, drives against Bean, and Bean blocks him at the rim. Justin Bean with the block shot. And the rebound, brings it down the court. And a pass down low to Eilerock, deflected out of bounds. Ashworth is saying, hey, I was wide open for three. Give me the look next time. Ashworth goes to the baseline to trigger the inbound. And gets it all the way up top to Bean. Bean comes to the midcourt logo. Bairstow comes out on a curl, but instead Bean rotates left, then dishes to Horvath. Horvath directing traffic. Hands back to Ashworth. Thought about a three. Gets the elbow. Kicks it to Bairstow. Bairstow to Eilerock. Back to Bairstow. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Now Ashworth has it. Ashworth in the lean. Leaves it for Bean. Bean attacks. Lays it up and in. Justin Bean with the bucket. He's got 11 on the night as well as 7 rebounds. Aggies up 43-27, their largest lead of 16 in this game. Mormon to Mills. Mills down low. Posting up Walker. They're trying to get Walker in the post. He passes out of it to Octave. Octave attacks, lays it up, misses, but does draw the foul. (43-27). Ashworth picks up the foul. That'll be 3 on Ashworth. It does send Octave back to the line. He missed his only free throw attempt. Octave, first free throw is good. So with 3 fouls, Ashworth's got to check out. Rylan Jones is going to check in. Rylan yet to score in this game, but did put in 8 minutes in the first half. Second free throw by Octave is good. So after missing his first, makes the next 2. Aggie lead is 14, 43-29. Eilerock to Bairstow. Bairstow gets it to Horvath at the elbow. Horvath up against Mills, takes 3 steps back, and then resets. Works the back to the middle of the court. Dishes to Bairstow. Bairstow to Bean. Bean then to Jones. Jones has the ball knocked out of his hands, and they're going to get Heidbreeder with the foul. 43-29. That'll be the 3rd team foul on Air Force. Heidbreeder's 2nd. 20 goes back on the shot clock, and Eilerock will inbound on the near side. Kicks it to Jones. Gets a screen from Horvath. Jones to the elbow, up top to Horvath. Horvath then dishes to Bairstow. Bairstow still trying to drive, kicks it to Horvath, but Horvath, the ball goes off his hands. Good pass. Heidbreeder comes away with it, stops, and then retreats. Looked like he had an opportunity on a fast break opportunity, but didn't like his chances, so he retreats and resets the offense. A.J. Walker to Mills, then Mills on the left wing. Kicks it to Mormon at the elbow. Mormon then to Walker. Walker outside the three-point line. Tried to go give and go, but instead the ball deflected away on a bad pass. Bean steals it away, keeps it in play. Gives it to Rylan Jones. Jones to Bean. Eilerock, baseline 3 is up and good. The steal, the assist, the bucket. Aggies trying to run away and hide. Lead by 17, 46-29 as we have 16:15 left in the game. Mormon at the right elbow to Mills on the left wing. Another deflection out of bounds. Horvath, as Mills trying to thread the needle to Octave in the post, and Horvath knocks it away. 46-29, 17-point lead for Utah State. Max Scholg is going to check in for Eilerock. R.J. Eilerock, who's got 5 points on the night tonight, but just hit a big 3. Aggies from the three-point line tonight, 5 of 12. Post down low to Mormon. Mormon put a shoulder down and gets hit with the offensive foul. No bucket. Put a chest into Horvath, knocked him down. Horvath sold it, and that is a turnover. Utah State's ball. Rylan Jones coming off the injury, crossing the timeline. Rylan on the right wing, trying to drive into the lane. Rylan dishes to Scholga, who has the ball knocked out of his hands, goes out of bounds. It'll stay with Utah State, and that brings us to our first media timeout. Air Force has not had a field goal in the last 3 minutes. Aggies suffocating the Falcons defensively. Utah State leads 46-29, 15:52 left in the game. You're listening to Aggie Basketball from Learfield. TicketSmarter for all the best sports, concerts, and theater events. Visit TicketSmarter.com or on the app. TicketSmarter, a smarter way to buy tickets. Well, Utah State playing really smart here in the second half. Air Force has not had a field goal in the last 3 minutes. Aggies shooting 70% from the field and 42% from 3. And again, you don't see 1 of 19 from 3 very often. We saw it in the first game against Air Force. Utah State much better shooting the ball here in this game. Max Shulga stays out on the court with Justin Bean, Brandon Horvath, Sean Bairstow, and Stephen Ashworth. Aggies lead by 17, 46-29. Remember, the next Aggie Coaches Show featuring Ryan Odom beat Old Chicago just right down the street from Maverick Stadium Thursday the 10th. Not Monday, Thursday at 7 o'clock. Sean Bairstow gets positioning, lays it up and in. Got Carter Murphy in the spin cycle, muscled it up. Bairstow's got 13 points on the night tonight, 48-29. Aggies with a 19-point lead. Bairstow has been fantastic in this one. He and Justin Bean both with 13 points. Driving, dishing low to Mormon, who's got positioning, right-hand floater, up and in. Got it over Horvath and Bairstow. Rylan Jones working left to right as Utah State leads by 17, 48-31. Horvath. And a pass intended for Rylan Jones goes off his hands, stolen away by Heidbreiter, who lays it up and in on the other end. And Air Force wants a timeout. Back-to-back buckets. Air Force wants to make another run in this thing, down by 15, 48-33, 15:05 left to go in the game. 30-second time, nope, full timeout, 60-second timeout. You're listening to Aggie Basketball. Utah State up by 15. You're listening to Aggie Hoops from Learfield. With back-to-back buckets, and Joe Scott wanting to talk to his team a little bit as they got a little bit of momentum and trying to crawl themselves back into this game, calls a timeout. You don't see a lot of timeouts after made buckets by a team, but Joe Scott wanted to keep working with his team on trying to make sure they get a defensive stop here. Did you know 74% of Utahns get prescriptions from a friend or family member? That's why we all have a role to play in prescription safety, both as parents and patients. Know your script. Keep medications safely stored and out of reach, and properly dispose of unused medications. To learn more, visit knowyourscript.org. All right, Aggie ball with 15:05 left in the game. As we mentioned, Aggie's largest lead has been 19, currently sits at 15. Rylan Jones stays in the game with Ashworth dealing with 3 fouls, along with Max Shulga, Justin Bean, Brandon Horvath, and Sean Bairstow. Justin Bean will trigger the inbound. And Rylan crosses the timeline. Hands to Shulga. Shulga then weaves it to Bairstow. Bairstow then right back to Jones. Jones driving, gets to the elbow, then kicks it back to Shulga. Shulga drives, looking for Horvath, can't find it, then finally is able to post up Horvath with 10 seconds on the shot clock. Horvath against Mills. Still waiting, then rotates left and lays it up and in. Mills went to his right shoulder, Horvath spun left, and he's able to get the easy layup. Great post move by Brandon Horvath. Aggies up by 17, 50-33. Mormon to the elbow, hands to Mills, then works it to Murphy. Colin Murphy, then back to Heidbreiter. Heidbreiter gets around Shulga, attacking. Up, off the glass, no good, and the rebound ripped down by Shulga. Bairstow nearly came away with it, but Shulga's able to clean up the mess. Cross court to Jones. Jones then up top to Shulga to Bairstow. Bairstow, who's been fantastic in this game tonight. Hands to Bean, then to Jones. Aggies work left side of the court, then to Shulga, looking for Horvath. Horvath on the right baseline. He'll go to work again. 10, 11, again puts his shoulder down, spins, up, under, needs to get rid of it probably now. Looking for somebody to help him out. Cross court to Bairstow, pump fakes the 3, drives, right hand layup, up and in. Oh my goodness, Sean Bairstow with 15 points on the night. When the play collapsed, Bairstow said, no worries, I'll take care of this. Aggies up by 19 again, 52-33. 15 for Bairstow, 13 for Horvath, 11 for Justin Bean. Trevin Dory is set to check in on the next timeout, as well as RJ Idlerock. Mills down low to Mormon, has got positioning, lays it up and in. Great job by Mormon, being in the right place, getting good body positioning, get the right hand layup. 52-35. Rylan tries to drive baseline against Murphy, cut off. Horvath now with it, then to Shulga, back to Jones. Jones trying to post up, good post up. Oh, no, pass nearly deflected away. Horvath dives down on the court, and they're going to say he was fouled on the way down. And they're going to get 3, Heidbreiter with the foul. One of those where probably it's best just to let him play and try to figure it out. Bit of a ticky-tack call on the academy. That is the second team foul, or excuse me, 14th foul on Air Force. Dorius into the game, as we mentioned. RJ Idlerock in as well. Shulga will inbound. 13:01 left in the game. Shulga to Jones. Jones comes back to the midcourt logo and dishes to Shulga. Shulga gets a screen from Dorius, back to Jones. Jones then right to Bean. Bean rises into the paint, misses the shot, and Dorius tries to get the putback, and he's fouled on the way up. Did not get the putback to go, but Dorius draws the foul. And that'll send Dorius to the line for 2 free throws on the putback opportunity and drawing the foul. So 2 free throws coming up for Dorius, makes the first. It's kind of when Happy Gilmore learned how to putt. Trevin Dorius learning how to shoot free throws. Dorius' second free throw is good. Afraid I jinxed him on that one. Fortunately, he's able to knock it down. All right, Aggies push the lead back to 19, 54-35, 12:44 left in the game. Mills gets a screen from Jackson, gets to the right elbow, then dishes back to Murphy. Murphy to Jackson, circles up top to Vanderswag. Vanderswag, he'll drive to the elbow, but Dorius is there to cut him off with that big body, so he says, I want no part of that. Entry pass to Jackson, and they're going to get Dorius coming in with a foul as Jackson came down and Dorius got him with the body. Third team foul on Utah State. Put 20 back on the shot clock, and Air Force will inbound. For Dorius, that is his second foul. Heidbreeder inbounds to Jackson, and the ball knocked out of his hands. And how about that? Dorius knocked it off of Jackson, and Jackson must have put a finger on it the way out. Dorius sold it, and the official agreed. Ryland Jones hands to Eilerock, over to Shulga. Shulga then back to Jones, gets a screen from Dorius. Bean looked that way, but instead goes to Jones. Jones for 3, no good. Dorius nearly gets the rebound out of bounds off of Dorius. Trevin Dorius said that's off Air Force. He got one call. I don't know if he's going to get the second one. 54-35. Aggies up by 19, 12:05 left to go in the game. Mills. And the pass stolen away on a cross-court pass. Shulga's with it. Shulga into the lane, offensive foul. Shulga put a shoulder in, and they're going to get an offensive foul. And Shulga's still down on the court. He's getting helped up by Eilerock and Ryland Jones. Timeout on the court. Aggies had an opportunity. Shulga gets hit with the offensive foul. 54-35. Aggies still up by 19, matching their largest lead in the game. This is Aggie basketball from Learfield. With 11:55 left in the game, tax reform laws impact almost all tax returns each year. Taxes can be confusing. H&R Block has more than 60 years of experience dealing with those taxes. Information available at hnrblock.com. H&R Block of Logan, owned and operated by proud Aggie alumni. So the Aggies leading by 19, 12 minutes away from picking up their 3rd consecutive victory and getting right back into the Mountain West Conference race. And this thing's going to be a dogfight the rest of the way. I don't know if anybody saw that game the other night, actually just last night, the Wyoming-Colorado State game. That was Ali Frazier. Those two teams were going toe-to-toe. That was physical, it was nasty, and it just goes to show you how good this conference really is this year. And if you've not gotten your tickets yet, I highly suggest you do so on the Mountain West Conference tournament in Vegas, because that could be a lot of fun this year. All right, Air Force with the ball. Aggies with a little bit of a token press to try to force Air Force to use a little bit of time before they get into their offensive set. Jeff Mills, the freshman, hands to Heidbreeder. Heidbreeder, then another foul is going to go against Utah State. Fighting through a screen. Trevin Dorius picks that one up. Dorius now with his 3rd foul. He's ratcheting him up pretty quick here. Heidbreeder will inbound with 11:40 left in the game. Vanderswag comes to the midcourt logo. Hands to Heidbreeder. Heidbreeder then dishes it back to Vanderswag. R.J. Eilerock on him. Heidbreeder now with the ball in the left wing. Hands back to Jackson. Jackson can't do anything with it. And a long desperation 3 is airballed once again. A.J. Walker at the shot clock misses it badly. And that might be his 2nd or 3rd air ball, and the student section is more than happy to let him know about it. Stephen Ashworth back in the game, dealing with 3 fouls. Ashworth gets to the elbow. Can't do anything with it. Hands to Eilerock, and another offensive foul as Eilerock muscled into A.J. Walker. Walker sold it. And it's another offensive foul for Utah State. 13 turnovers on the Aggies tonight. 9 for Air Force. Thing is, Air Force has only converted 4 points off of those 13 turnovers. Jackson with 15 seconds on the shot clock, being harassed by Dorius. Heidbreeder now with it, looking on the give and go to Jackson, and that is going to be Sean Bairstow tying him up, but they're going to call the foul on Bairstow, and that's a good call. Crowd doesn't like it. Officials saying he got him on the arm, and I think they're right on that one. 10:45 left in the game, and that'll send Jackson to the line for 2 free throws. Play is really stalled out here for both teams. But that's, if you're dealing with a 19-point lead, you kind of like that if you're Utah State. Although Jackson has 2 free throws and knocks down the first one, left-handed shooter. One more coming up. 54-36. Here comes free throw number 2, and missed it. Justin Bean rips down the board. Bean getting closer to a double-double, 11 points, 8 rebounds on the night for Justin Bean. Bairstow to Ashworth. Over to Bean, tried to get it to Dorius on the dribble play, couldn't do it. Instead, Ashworth now driving. Kicks back on the right wing, and then Eilerock comes to collect, who gives it right back to Ashworth. Ashworth driving, picks up his dribble, kicks it to Bean. Bean has the ball ripped out of his hands. Good job coming back behind and stealing away from Mills. Bean didn't see him. Stealing it from the backside. Horvath coming in on the next timeout. 14 turnovers for Utah State. Jackson driving against Dorius. Blocks it into the 3rd row. Get that out of here, says Trevin Dorius. I'll have none of that. Thank you very much. And a trombone player coming up with the ball as Dorius knocked it into the band. 54-36, 18-point lead for the Aggies. Bounce pass down low. Jackson throws down the dunk over the top of Dorius, and the end one. A little bit of revenge there. Air Force, a filthy dunk from Nick Jackson. Throws it down over the top of Dorius and draws the foul, and will get the end one opportunity. So 54-38, Air Force hanging in there. We still have 10 minutes left to go in this game. And this could be a 15-point game if Jackson's able to hit his free throw. And he does. Aggies have led by as many as 19. It's now 15. Aggies have turned it over 3 times in the last 2 minutes. And they've gone on a scoring drought over the last 2:41. Ashworth gets a screen from Dorius. Over to Eilerock, down to Dorius. Dorius has got good positioning, lays it up. No offensive foul. And that's 4 fouls on Dorius, who smiles and walks over to the bench. Aggies with 3 offensive fouls as the Academy has drawn charge after charge after charge. And Aggies want a flop warning. They're not going to get it. But Dorius now with 4 fouls. Actually, excuse me, 5 fouls. His night's done. Excuse me, he's fouled out. 15-point game. 54-39. Again, Air Force just hanging in there. Up top to Heidbreeder. Heidbreeder still gets the ball, looking for Jackson to flare to the rim, but instead kicks it back to Mills. Mills on the right wing, 3-point line extended. Over to Vanderswag, back to Mills. Mills up top to Jackson, cross court to Heidbreeder. Horvath on him. Driving, taking the baseline jumper, missed everything. And R.J. Eilerock, as Ryan Odom says, let's run. Swing it to Bairstow. And Bairstow draws the foul. 54-39, 9:15 left. That's the 16th foul by Air Force. Mills picks it up, and the Aggies will inbound on the near side. 25 seconds on the shot clock. Eilerock looking to trigger the inbound. Hands to Horvath. Horvath, 3-point line extended to Ashworth. Ashworth to Horvath down low to Bean. Bean is fouled. That's the 17th foul for the Academy, and that'll send Bean to the line for a 1-and-1. We've had 16 calls, foul calls, in the first 11 minutes. We've got 9 minutes left. Utah State Air Force will be in the double bonus on the next Aggie foul, and the Aggies are in the bonus with that Air Force call. Calling it tight here in Logan tonight. 15-point game, but Justin Bean steps to the line for a couple free throws. Or excuse me, 1-and-1. Bean, free throw, good. One more. 55-39. This game feels like it's just an Aggie 6-0, 7-0 run from really being over at this point, but Air Force, again, just kind of hanging in there. Bean with a second free throw. That is up, and that is good as well. Both free throws up and good. Back to a 17-point game. Aggies have turned it over 4 times in the last 4.5 minutes and have not had a field goal, but Bean's able to provide a couple free throws there. Octave dishes to Mills. Mills then rotates right to Heidbreeder, then back to Octave, up top to Mills. Mills then rotates it to Jackson. Jackson for 3, no good. And Air Force 1 of 11 from 3. Stephen Ashworth sends it to Idlerock. Idlerock in the paint, needs to get rid of it, in a little bit of trouble. Nice pass from Ashworth, but Idlerock couldn't do anything with it. So the Aggies will reset. Ashworth outside the three-point line, left wing, back to Bairstow straight away. Down low to Horvath, who draws the foul. 56-39, Horvath's gonna go to the line. Foul's gonna go against A.J. Walker. And that's the 4th foul on Walker. So he's a foul away from his night being over. Heidbreeder also dealing with 4 fouls. Horvath, the front end of a 1-and-1. Good. 58-39. One more coming up. Horvath lining up his second free throw. Crowd goes quiet here in Logan and gets it to go. Friendly roll. Excuse me, now it's 58-39. 19-point lead for the Utah State Aggies. Win tonight will give them 3 in a row and 2 more home games coming up this week. Thursday against San Jose State, Saturday against UNLV as Bryce Hamilton rolls into town, and he is fun to watch. Handoff to Vanderswag, but Bairstow's there to cut him off. Vanderswag still trying to post him up, but then releases and hands to Jackson, then to Octave. Octave drives, reverse layup, missed. Horvath was coming for the block, so Octave had a reverse layup attempt and missed it badly. Bean kicks it back to Ashworth, then to Bairstow. Bairstow puts his shoulder down, still working the dribble. Bairstow, turnaround jumper is up and no good. Octave pulls down the board and wants to run. Quickly gives it to Walker. Walker trying to drive against Bean. Stops, hands to Jackson. Jackson then posting up Horvath on the left low block. Jackson puts his shoulder down, spins right, lays it up, and gets it to go. Good positioning by Jackson. Horvath may have conceded that one a bit too. And Utah State leads by 17, 58-31. 7:30 left in the game. Idlerock to Ashworth. Ashworth then to Bean. Bean looked for Horvath. Instead, kicks it back to Ashworth, who then hands to Bairstow. Gets it to Bean at the elbow, gives it to Idlerock for 3, way too long. Horvath's there for the rebound, but it's ripped out of his hands and kept alive by Octave. Good job, or excuse me, by Walker. Good job by Vanderswag, popping that out of his hands. Vanderswag to Jackson. Jackson then to Mills. Mills comes around a nice screen, looking right to A.J. Walker to Vanderswag. Swag trying to drive baseline, reverse layup, up and missed. Another good opportunity, but missed by Air Force. Their shots just aren't falling tonight. 58-41, Utah State leads by 17. Aggies in Colorado Springs were 1 of 19 from 3. Tonight, Air Force is 1 of 11 here in Logan. Ashworth up against Octave, takes the jumper and is hit on the hand. That's a foul against Octave, and that'll send Stephen Ashworth to the line for 2 free throws. 58-41, a 17-point lead for the Aggies. 6:36 left to go in the game. You're listening to Aggie Basketball from Learfield.
I'm an Aggie, and I protect the nation's water supply.
I'm an Aggie. I grow plants in space.
I'm an Aggie. I make the world earthquake resistant.
I'm an Aggie. I empower youth to take action on worldwide issues. We applaud their achievements, but they don't do it alone. We thank you for supporting the scholarships and programs that help these students pursue the impossible. You're an Aggie, and your giving matters.
Staker Parson Companies has built a preferred source for sand, rock, and landscape products, ready-mix concrete, asphalt, paving, and construction services in your community for over 65 years. From the parks you play in to the roads you drive on, you can count on the Staker Parson team to deliver quality products and projects safely, timely, and efficiently.
For more information or career opportunities, visit stakerparson.com.
You haven't made a field goal in 7 minutes. .636 left to go in the game. Utah State leading 58-41. Discount Tire is your official sponsor of the Utah State promotional team. Big thanks to Discount Tire for their continued support of Utah State athletics. All right, things you don't see very often. A team leading by 17, but yet committing 16 turnovers to 9 from their opponent, and also going on a 7-minute stretch without a field goal. The Aggies missed their last 4 field goals. They've turned it over a bunch. And yet, Air Force can't make them pay. Largest lead has been 19. It sits at 17, and Utah State's best free throw shooter going up to the line for 2 free throws. Bank of Utah and Utah State Athletics are teaming up this basketball season to donate to Hoops for Hope. Every point the Aggies score at home, Bank of Utah will donate $1 to Hoops for Hope. A check will be presented at the final home game on February 28th. Big thanks to Bank of Utah for supporting Utah State. So Stephen Ashworth has 2 free throws here, trying to get the Aggies to the 60-point plateau. First free throw from the Lone Peak grad is perfect. He'll have 1 more coming up. Stephen Ashworth, 85% free throw shooter, and that number is only going to climb. He's perfect tonight, makes both free throws, and the Aggies match their largest lead of 19, 60-41. Jeffrey Mills crosses the timeline to Walker, to Octave, now to Mormon at the elbow. Hands back to Walker. Walker caught up in traffic, retreats, then takes the spot up 3 and misses it. Tipped around, finally controlled by who? Utah State, out of bounds. Horvath set to inbound, with the Aggies looking to get their largest lead of 20 plus if they can get a bucket here. And again, it's been nearly 7.5 minutes since the Aggies scored a field goal, but yet lead by 19. Justin Bean sets a screen for Rylan Jones. Ashworth with the ball, back to Bean, back to Ashworth. Gives it to Bairstow. Bairstow drives in the paint, leaves it for Horvath. Horvath kicks it to Bean, who lays it up and in. Beautiful give and go. Bean with the layup. Bean's got 15 and 9 on the night to go along with 3 assists. Aggies up by 21, 62-41. Cross-court pass to Mormon. Hands to Octave. Octave spins in the lane. Back to Walker. Cross-court to Mills. Bairstow puts a body on him as he tries to drive, so he retreats behind the 3-point line. Gets a screen from Mormon, but instead goes to Octave. Octave driving. He's cut off. Nicely done by Rylan Jones. Able to recollect and put the bucket up. Is it going to be a shot clock violation? Yes. Shot clock violation. And it's Utah State's ball. I think they will go to the tape on this one. 62-41. Timeout on the court. We'll take it. 5:21 left to go in the ball game. Utah State leads by 21. 30-second break. You're listening to Aggie basketball from Learfield. The bucket, no good. Ashworth for 3, no good off the back of the iron. Bairstow with the rebound, though. Kicks it over to Justin Bean. Cross court back to Rylan Jones. Jones gets to the baseline, hands to Bean. Bean driving, leaves it for Horvath, but it's fouled on the drive. Aggies lead by 21, 62-41, 5:01 left in the game. So that'll send Bean to the line. He'll have 2 free throws, both teams in the double bonus. Bean's free throw is good. So Justin Bean was 16 and 9 on the night tonight, just an elusive rebound away from a double-double. Now it's the Academy that have gone on a scoring drought in the last 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Second free throw by Bean is up and perfect. Aggies again showing a little bit of a press. Again, not trying to force turnovers, just trying to keep Air Force from getting any kind of offensive set. Aggies with their largest lead of 23, 64-41. We are under 5 minutes to go. Driving baseline is Mills. Mills looking for Mormon. Then dishes back to Vanderswag. Vanderswag will take the long two, miss it. Tipped up and controlled by Bairstow. Ashworth leaves it to Jones. Jones layup up. Yes, and he's fouled. There you go. Welcome back, Rylan Jones. The bucket and the foul, and Rylan's going to the line for a chance for the three-point play. Aggies on a 12-2 run. If you back it up just last 2 minutes, and it's an 8-0 run. 66-41, make it 67-41. Rylan Jones on the scoreboard tonight. Inbound to Vanderswag, who hands it for Heidbreeder. Works right to left, gets past Jones, but then stops. Hands to Vanderswag, who then gives it right back to Heidbreeder. Over to Mormon. And yes, I'm seeing your jokes on Twitter about that name. Knocked out of bounds. Yes, indeed. Horvath blocks it into the second row. Aggies with some block shots tonight. That is the fourth block shot by Utah State in this game tonight. 67-41, Aggies up by 26 en route to their third consecutive victory. Mills hands to Heidbreeder. Heidbreeder on the left wing. Up top to Vanderswag. Vanderswag guarded by Bean. To Heidbreeder, he's caught up in traffic. He's got a dish and a shot clock violation. I didn't notice the shot clock, and neither did Air Force. Academy had no idea where the clock was. It's a violation, and Utah State gets the turnover. 67-41, 4:03 left in the game. Aggies up by 26. This will be 3 consecutive blowout victories against San Diego State, Nevada, and Air Force. Rylan Jones dishes to Ashworth. Ashworth down low to Horvath. Positioning, right-hand layup over the top of Heidbreeder, who had no ability. Size disadvantage. Great job by Horvath, able to lay it up and in. A.J. Walker, right-hand floater in the lane. Won't go. And another rebound by Horvath. Aggies out-rebounding Air Force tonight in this game, 33-13. Wow. Horvath, as the Aggies are going to run some clock here. Ashworth, back to Horvath. Horvath against Mormon. Dishes to Rylan Jones, who lays it up and in. My goodness, Rylan Jones, the layup. Utah State, their 21st assist on the night tonight on 26 made buckets. Heidbreeder tries to drive, draws the foul. He'll go to the line for 2 free throws. Aggies currently on a 13-0 run and lead by 30. 71-41, final timeout. We'll park this car in the driveway when we come back. This is Aggie basketball from Learfield. 71-41. I don't know if there's a record for fewest rebounds given up by a Utah State team, but right now Air Force with only 13 rebounds in the game. Aggies out-rebounding Air Force by 20, 33-13. Aggies lead by 30, 71-41. Utah State currently on a 17-2 run as the Air Force Academy has gone cold here. And Utah State en route to another big win. Perhaps exercising a few demons from the tough loss in Colorado Springs. Air Force coming into this game, they beat UNLV, they lost to Colorado State, then they beat San Jose State, and then they lost to Wyoming. A really close game against Wyoming, 63-61. Going to the line, Jake Heidbreeder. He'll have 2 free throws. First one is good. Second free throw coming up with 3:04 left to go, and the Aggies leading 71-42. Second free throw is good. Heidbreeder, good player. He's got a big future at Air Force. and he's got 6 points on the night tonight. Had 14 and 5 against Utah State in the game in Colorado Springs. Rylan Jones on the left wing. Kicks it to Ashworth. Ashworth gets to the paint, then gets it to Bean. Over to Horvath. As Bean tried to slip it to Horvath, pass got away from him and went off the rim. That would have been an easy dunk by Horvath. The pass just got away from Bean a bit. He's smiling a bit as he goes down the court. Into the game, Ryan Corner, number 50. Had 5 minutes in the game against Utah State in Colorado Springs. Utah State's going to empty the bench a little bit coming up. Long straightaway three, no good. And the rebound is controlled by who? Goes out of bounds off of Air Force. Norbert Dellison, Z. Hamoda, Max Shulga, Shimon Zapala all into the game, and Travis Wagstaff. A 5-man hockey line rotation coming in for Utah State as the Aggies empty the bench. Air Force from the three-point line tonight is 1 of 13. Shimon Zapala sets a screen from Shulga, steps back, and then draws the foul on the shot, and he'll have 2 free throws. With 2:08 left to go, and Shulga's going to go line for 2. Shulga, by the way, has not attempted a field goal, has not attempted a free throw. He's played 15 minutes. He's got 2 rebounds, 1 assist. And here comes his free throw attempts. First one, good. Tried to sneak out, but finally dropped through the net. Jake Murphy checks in. He did not play in the game against Utah State. Only the 4th game all year he's played. Shulga being told to tuck in his jersey. Aggies lead by 29, 72-43 with 2:08 left in the game. Shulga's second free throw is good. 30-point game, 73-43. Kyle Brown also into the game. He has played very little this year for Air Force. Hands over to Carter Murphy. As Air Force working it around the horn. Corner, then back to Murphy. Murphy guarded by Shulga. Straightaway three is up and missed. Barely grazed iron is Kyle Brown. And Utah State with the rebound. Travis Wagstaff on the right wing. Crossover dribble. Looking for Zapala. Can't get it to him. Instead gives it to Z. Hamoda. Down low to Zapala. That is tipped out and controlled by Zapala. Get some space, and they're going to get him with the travel. Yeah, that's probably the right call. Shimon Zapala underneath the rim, tried to slide backwards, and into the game for the second consecutive game comes Connor Odom, son of Utah State head coach Ryan Odom for Shulga, who's going to step out. 73-43, 30-point lead, $1:30 left in the game. Kyle Brown kicks it over to Abe Kinraid. Then to Murphy. Murphy on the right wing is Air Force with 15 seconds on the shot clock. Trying to create anything. Long three, right wing, good. So Carter Murphy hits the three, and that's the second made three by Air Force. They're now 2 of 15 from the three-point line. Wagstaff getting a screen from Dellison. Dellison comes to the elbow. In a little bit of trouble. Kicks it back to Wagstaff. Wagstaff driving base, leaves it for Zapala. Left-hand push shot, missed. Zapala fights for it, but instead Air Force comes away with it. Bounce pass down low. Layup is up and missed. Zapala with the rebound. Crowd on their feet to Connor Odom. Odom outside the three-point line. Take that shot. Nope, he's going to pass out of it to Hamoda. He will take that shot, and he misses everything, goes out of bounds. Ball kept in play, though, as Zapala tips it away, but Air Force comes away with it. And a pass goes off of a cheerleader intended for number 23, Jake Murphy, but Murphy can't get to it, goes out of bounds. It'll be Utah State's ball with 32 seconds left. Crowd wanting an Odom shot on their feet with Utah State leading 73-46. Connor Odom gets in the lane, right hand floater up, no good. Oh, there was the shot. Good look, just wouldn't fall for him. And bringing the ball down the court is Air Force. Air Force will hold for the last shot. Here's your winning team, losing team chant. With 5 seconds left, 4 seconds, and the ball goes out of bounds. It stays with Air Force. Pass intended for Murphy goes off Odom with 2.9 left. 73-46, Aggies are going to get a W here. Looking to trigger the inbound. Finally all the way up top. And collecting with one shot at the buzzer is up and no good. And that's how this one ends. Utah State gets the win tonight over Air Force, 73-46. Aggies with the win, get their 13th win of the season. They're now 3-5 in conference play, and now have won 3 consecutive convincing wins. Aggies 73, Air Force 46. You're listening to Aggie Basketball. Postgame show coming up next from Learfield.